You've just built /commands, skills, and subagents tools that rely on direct interaction. Now we shift to environments where no one is typing at a prompt. This module puts Claude Code into automation, running headless in CI pipelines, enforcing rules with hooks, and picking the right execution mode. We'll start by seeing how to invoke it without a terminal. By the end of this module, you can run headless in a CI pipeline, enforce a rule with a hook, and choose between headless, streaming, and auto. Here is how this module builds up. Headless mode means running Claude Code without a human at a terminal. The mechanism is the print flag, which tells the CLI to process the prompt, write to stout, and exit. It is not an environment variable. Claude Headless does not exist, and neither does batch. Both appear as distractors in the exam guide sample items, and knowing which CLI surface is real is itself testable content. Without the print flag, a CI job that invokes Claude Code hangs waiting for input that will never come. That stalls the pipeline, blocks deployments, and wastes compute minutes. A shell redirect from /dev/null stops the hang, but it only masks the symptom. The real failure is running an interactive program in a non-interactive context without telling it. The documented mode fixes the cause, not just the effect, and the exam tests whether you know the difference. Your pipeline runs Claude with a prompt and the job hangs. The corrected command is Claude P followed by the prompt. The P flag is the documented non-interactive mode. Next, you need to say where the project's review criteria live so the CI instance has the context a developer's session gets for free. That is Claude.md. It carries testing standards, fixture conventions, and review criteria into the CI invocation. Finally, you must explain why redirecting stin from /dev/null is not the answer even though it stops the hang. It suppresses a symptom of running an interactive program non-interactively. The exam prefers the documented mechanism over the shell workaround every time. The rest of the cases are on the page. The durable rule is, use the documented mode. In any CI system, invoke Claude Code with print. Carry project context in Claude.md because a CI instance starts with no session history. When you see a shell workaround like redirecting stin from /dev/null, reject it not because it fails to stop the hang, but because it masks the cause. The documented mechanism fixes the real problem, and a system built next year will still need the documented mode, not a shell trick that happens to work today. This is tested by giving you a family of items where 2 of the 4 options are invented. Claude Headless and Batch appear as distractors in the guide's own sample items. The exam tests whether you can identify the real CLI surface. It also tests whether you prefer the documented mechanism over a shell workaround. If an option stops the hang but is not the documented mode, it is wrong. Check anything you have not personally typed against the CLI list in blueprint.md. A hook is a deterministic enforcement point that fires automatically around tool use. Unlike a prompt instruction, which is probabilistic, a hook guarantees a rule is applied every time. There are 2 families, Claude Code hooks, configured as shell commands for a repository or team, and Agent SDK hooks, which are code inside your agent process that intercepts tool calls. The distinction matters because the exam tests them separately. A hook is not for stylistic guidance, that's what prompts are for. It's for rules where variance is unacceptable. Without hooks, critical rules fail silently. A prompt asking the model never to commit to main is a suggestion. Under complex instructions or high load, the model can miss it. The result, a direct push to main, a secret in a diff, a write outside the workspace. These aren't hypotheticals, they're production incidents that cost trust and time. Hooks prevent this by making enforcement a code-level certainty. The cost of not using them is unreliable compliance, and in regulated or high-stakes environments, that's unacceptable. Let's work through the most instructive case, blocking direct commits to main. The rule is invariant, it must never vary. A prompt can't guarantee this, so we use a hook. We choose a Claude Code hook, a shell command configured in the repository that fires before the commit tool executes. When it blocks, it returns, commit blocked, push to a branch and open a PR instead. That's the reason and the path forward. The alternative, a bare refusal, leaves the agent stuck, unable to proceed. The other cases, like blocking writes outside the workspace or secrets in a diff, follow the same pattern and are on the page. The durable rule: use a hook only for invariant consequences, rules where variance is unacceptable. If the rule can ever be bent, it belongs in a prompt. When a hook blocks, always return the reason and the path forward. A bare refusal is a design flaw because it leaves the agent without agency. Rejecting a routing classifier as a hook target? That's because it bypasses the language understanding you're paying for. Hook should enforce operational gates, not replace model judgment. Finally, match the hook family to the exam stem, pipeline and team signal Claude Code hooks, agent and tool result signal SDK hooks. This is testcraft. The exam will try to catch you crossing hook families, answering an Agent SDK question with Claude Code configuration, or vice versa. The stem always gives a clue: pipeline and team for Claude Code, agent and tool result for SDK. Another distractor: enforcing a stylistic preference with a hook. Style belongs in prompts. And the reverse: putting a financial control in a prompt. Money rules demand deterministic enforcement. Spot these, and you'll avoid the most common mistakes. Mode selection is the deliberate choice of how Claude delivers its response, all at once, token by token, or letting the model decide. It is not about making the model smarter or faster, it is about matching the delivery shape to the consumer. The distinction people get wrong is treating it as a performance setting. It is a protocol decision, and picking the wrong one adds latency or complexity without any upside. Without deliberate mode selection, automation breaks in ways that are hard to debug. Picture a support chatbot that uses headless mode. The user stares at a blank screen until the full response arrives, then gets a wall of text. They assume the system is broken and escalate. On the other side, a CI pipeline that streams token by token forces the build script to reassemble fragments, adding brittle parsing logic. Both failures cost trust and engineering time, and both come from not asking the one question that prevents them: what is consuming this output? Let's work the CI/CD security review case from the worksheet. The consumer is a build pipeline, a machine that needs the complete report before it can pass or fail the PR. Latency is secondary. Completeness is the binding constraint. You choose headless mode because it returns the entire response in one payload, and the pipeline can block on it cleanly. You reject streaming because the pipeline cannot act on partial tokens, they would just accumulate in a buffer, adding parsing code that delivers zero value. Auto mode is also rejected here because you know the consumer is non-interactive. Delegating the choice risks the model picking streaming for a conversational tone and breaking the pipeline contract. The other scenarios in the worksheet follow the same reasoning pattern: consumer first, then fit. The durable rule is this: mode selection is a consumer-driven decision. Before you pick a mode, ask what is reading the output and what it needs. If the answer is a machine that requires the full result, headless is the default. If it is a human who benefits from seeing tokens arrive, streaming earns its keep. And if you reject an option, always give the reason: not reject streaming, but reject streaming because it forces the pipeline to reassemble fragments, adding fragility with no upside. That reason is what survives code review and makes sense to someone who joins the project next year. On the exam, this appears as a scenario question. You will read a short description, maybe a batch reporting job or a real-time dashboard, and you will need to pick the mode and justify it. The distractor that catches people is choosing streaming because it feels more advanced or real-time. The exam is testing whether you can look past the feature label and see the consumer. If the consumer is a machine that needs the whole answer, headless is the correct call, and you need to be able to say why streaming would be the wrong fit. That is the testcraft. The scenario will tempt you with a shiny option that is technically possible but architecturally wrong. So remember, headless mode won't work unless you explicitly set both print and output format. Hooks live in Claude Code, not the Agent SDK. And when choosing modes, streaming gives you live output, headless returns just the final result, and auto picks the right format for you.